Boy thought his mom was the silliest in the world. The meat tasted so delicious, yet his mom didn't like to eat it and instead put it into the bowls of the two kids. Even the birthday cake was so tasty. However, his mom said she didn't like sweet food, so she divided all the cake among the two kids. The kids were too busy eating the cake. They didn't notice their mom secretly licking the cream off her hands. The little brother even laughed at how silly their mom was. It was so delicious, yet mom didn't want to eat. The older brother clearly saw that it wasn't that mom didn't like to eat. It was that she couldn't bear to eat. Just then, the boy hadn't eaten much when he suddenly felt a sharp pain in his chest. Then he passed out. It turned out the boy had congenital heart disease. He could only rely on his limping mother, who worked as a porter, to earn 100 yuan a day for medicine to survive. That day, to satisfy his brother's wish for cake, he immediately took out his medical expenses to buy the cake. But this also led to the boy being rushed to the hospital later. However, the doctor informed the woman that the boy's condition worsened due to stopping his medication. Now, he could only survive through a heart transplant. Upon hearing this, the woman replied without hesitation that she would use her heart. But the doctor could see at a glance that the poor woman couldn't afford the huge surgery fee. However, when the woman heard this, she immediately said she would sell her blood and kidneys. At the same time, the boy woke up from his hospital bed but couldn't find his mother anywhere. So he and his brother went to the hospital entrance to look for her. To their surprise, they saw their mom kneeling on the ground, begging passers-by. Seeing this scene made the boy very sad, so he shouted that he wouldn't receive treatment anymore and wanted his mom to come home. Unexpectedly, upon hearing this, the woman raised her hand as if to hit the boy, but in the end she couldn't bring herself to do it. Instead, her hand fell on her own face. She then cried and apologized to the boy, saying she was useless. However, the understanding boy said it was he who was a burden to his mom. Looking at her sensible boy, she became more determined to save her son. Then the woman urged the boy not to run around in the ward. She would go home to cook for him. However, shortly after his mom left, he secretly went to the doctor's office. He cautiously asked how much a heart transplant would cost. When he heard the doctor say 500,000, the boy immediately said he wouldn't receive treatment anymore. Not only because his family couldn't come up with 500,000, but also because if his mom gave him her heart, she would lose her life. He didn't want to burden his mom. The doctor, looking at such a sensible boy, still comforted him that as long as he stayed alive, there was hope. Then after the boy returned to the ward, he recalled how his mom worked and scavenged to buy him medicine. She even begged on the street. The boy immediately felt he was a burden to his mom. He then took paper and pen to write a farewell letter. He wrote that he was leaving and told his mom not to think about it. When the woman hurried to the hospital and saw her son's letter, she immediately cried and frantically ran out. Unbeknownst to her, the boy was wandering on the street at that moment. As he crossed a road, he was unexpectedly hit by a speeding luxury car. The person who got out of the luxury car was the richest man in the capital. The man immediately picked up the boy and took him to the hospital.